Merlin Players professional theater performing that this weekend and next weekend. Juliana Skluzacek is the director and, of course, the founder, along with some other folks,
Yes.
of the Merlin Players, right?
That's correct.
Is this one of your co-founders?
No, Matt's been with us now for about 6-7 years. Yeah.
Matt Drenth is also with us this morning on AM Minnesota. So how are rehearsals going for Bleacher Bums?
We had a really good rehearsal last night. Nice and solid. So moving into tonight to, kind of smooth out all of the technical edges. There are a lot of sound cues in this show, about over 50 of them. And so, can get pretty intricate. So we just need to smooth out a couple of places, and we'll be ready to go for final dress tomorrow night.
And you were just telling me that Matt built the set.
Yes, he designed and built the set. It's our reproduction of Wrigley Field's bleachers, and they're green and everything, and we have the ivy wall.
Wow.
I know, it's fun. Very fun.
You had to do that, right, Matt?
Oh, absolutely.
You can't do it without the ivy wall.
You can't do it without the ivy wall.
That's Wrigley Field.
They call it climbing the vines. We have a part in the show where this rabid cheerleader fan gives the opposition such a hard time that he gets this player to climb the vines and come after the fans that are there. So
wow.
It takes place during a game between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago Cubs.
Big rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Big rivalry, 1998.
Right. Mm-hmm. So the big hitters are playing the game. Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa.
Right.
Yeah.
The home run. In fact, that was the year they had the big home run
battle. Yes, I believe that was the year that they
those two were,
took over Maris's record and ended up first and second, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, it was the little asterisks maybe by it now.
Right.
I know.
That was also the steroid year, wasn't it?
They say, I guess. Yeah.
So, Matt, you were telling us before hitting the airwaves you had a chance to sing the national anthem at Wrigley Field.
Yes, I was fortunate enough in college that the college group that I was working with, the choir group, we went down for an alumni day and sang the national anthem on Wrigley Field. So.
What college did you go to?
University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Okay. How was that experience?
It is absolutely awesome. It's just to be in such an iconic park, and that it's still there, that it's the original park. The Twins have a nice stadium now, but nothing like the Met Stadium kind of thing. And so Wrigley Field was awesome. Harry Carey was live, of course. So
cool.
It was just a unique day.
So he hung his head out the window and sang, "Take me out to the ball game."
Absolutely he did.
You know what?
Yes, that's exactly Harry Carey.
Yep, exactly. We had a great day that day.
Fantastic. Anyway, we got a lot to cover in the next few minutes, and I don't have a lot of time before our opening market report. So if you would, Juliana, tell us how people can get tickets.
Today, the box office opens at noon, and they can call 507-332-7372 at the Paradise Center for the Arts on beautiful downtown Faribault.
You can order other things online on Paradise. Can you order Merlin Players tickets too?
No, you can't.
Oh, okay.
We're a separate entity, and so they sell our tickets differently.
Ooh, I got to take that off our website then.
Which means, of course, that you don't have any there's no surcharge on the tickets either. So.
Right. There's a $3 processing order for other things,
for
but
Paradise
not for this.
events, yeah, but not for the Merlin Players.
Gee, I should have asked before I posted this. Sorry
That's
about
okay.
that. Anyway, the Merlin Players, they're separate from the Paradise.
Right, financially. So
that's what we're getting at here, and that's why you can't order online. It's a completely different entity. And I suppose they got to separate the pots of money and that sort of thing.
Keep the money separate, yeah.
So we'll talk more with Juliana and with Matt about the play, specifically Bleacher Bums. It's a comedy, folks. You're going to be laughing. We're talking today about the Merlin Players professional theater, their adaptation of the play Bleacher Bums. How old is this, Juliana?
It was written originally in the mid-1970s, and then the guys who wrote it updated it in 1998.
So when did it originally take You said it was written in the 70s.
Yeah.
Did it take place in the 70s?
Yes, it did, and then they rewrote it for 1998.
Because people wouldn't remember the players. In the 70s.
Exactly, and I also think they rewrote it because at that time the Cubs were on an upsurge, and I think that they thought great things were going to be happening for the Cubs, and they'd win a World Series, and
Of course, that hasn't happened.
that hasn't happened. Sadly, no. No, it hasn't. Even though they had Sammy Sosa playing on their team, they just never have been able to get the job done. And, you know, you have to have character to be a Cubs fan. You really do. You have to, you know, be able to persevere and to believe. And, you know, you can't be a springtime, you know, fan only there when things are going well. You have to have, you know, have to be able to tough it out.
Are you a Cubs fan?
I am a Cubs fan. Yes, I am.
I did not know that.
I grew up in Davenport, Iowa,
Yeah.
and most people there are Cubs fans.
Not Cardinal fans.
Some are Cardinals. My father grew up and was born in St. Louis, so he was a rabid Cardinal fan. Rabid, and always thought that I was, you know,
Crazy.
well, just a betrayer of the, you know, the family, you know, trust or something. But he used to say that the Cubs are like your septic tank. They both start to stink by the 4th of July.
Oh my, that's a great line. That is a great line.
Yeah.
I got to remember that line.
Yeah, and there's a line in the show that one of the characters, Marvin, says that's when he states, nobody ever lost any money betting against the Cubs after the 4th of July. So it's in the same vein, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well, they had a
lots of
good year
fun.
this year. They made the playoffs.
I know, and they've got a young team.
We got swept, but they made the playoffs.
Well, but when they played the Cardinals, they had that one game. They had 6 home runs
Yeah.
with 6 different.
Oh, the win, you know, Wrigley. Win.
Hey! Come on.
I mean, it was. I mean,
I
that's
know.
just a fact.
Come on, let us believe.
You know, I was at Wrigley Field the first time they ever had lights.
Were you?
They brought in these, you know, artificial lights.
Right.
I mean, not artificial lights, but the mobile lights.
Mm-hmm.
For the first night game ever at Wrigley Field, I was there.
What year was that?
Oh, I can't remember what year it was.
Oh, okay. What's
I'm
Matt
thinking-
has a line that he says in the play.
Does 89 sound right?
Yeah, about that. And that's I looked it up because it was 88 or 89.
Yeah, it was one of
And
those.
it was against the Mets, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
So the fact that that's who they played in the NCLS is.
And then the game I was telling you about where I sat in the bleachers
Mhm.
with a bunch of terrific people from California. Boy, did we have a blast. They played the Phillies,
Uh-huh.
and there were a lot of home runs in that game. It was like 14-11 or something like
Oh my
that.
gosh.
Home runs all over the place. But we didn't pay a lot of attention to it, to be honest. It's back in my younger, wilder days. Let's just put it that way.
Well, and that's the game is about the guys hanging out in the bleachers.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of conversation that goes on that does not involve the baseball game. But there's also a lot of bets. There's a lot of things that, you know, watching all the little things and
Sure.
you know, if his shoe's going to come untied and those kind of things. So-
Well, and at least when we were in the bleachers, people watching is the most, more of a pastime than the baseball.
I didn't know what a reach bet was until we did this show. And a reach bet is what you bet whether or not they're going to get the first base, right?
Right.
Right. So that's been fun. Matt's character Decker is a businessman who's taken off from work, shows up at the park in his suit,
Sure.
you know, and on a beautiful summer day, and the end of July or so, and has lots of small bets all over the place. But then their group gets invaded by this guy Marvin, who is something of a professional gambler, yeah, and he's upping the ante on everything, and he wants to make an $800 bet with Decker. And what do you say to that?
I tell him I don't want to put my car in hock. I just want to make a friendly wager.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have many moments like that, and that's Marvin taunts us all into getting a little bit bigger bet. You know, like a good auctioneer.
Sure.
He sort of gets under our skin and plays us a little bit.
Who plays Marvin?
His name is Frank Blomgren. He's from the Twin Cities. He's a friend of mine that I've known for years through the Minnesota Association of Community Theaters. A really fine actor, and he loves baseball. He's a rabid baseball player, and he was in the Mice and Men when we did it. So it's fun to get him back down here and in this show because he's just very fun to work with.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about the cast, if you would.
All right. Well, we have there's Zig. His real name is Herb Zukowski, but his friends in the bleachers call him Zig or Zigula, and he's played by Tim Fitzgerald. And then his wife Rose, who tracks him down at the ballpark, and is just tired of being left at home, is played by Elaine Benson. And then there's the role of the rabid cheerleader, and it's played by Samuel Temple. Samuel's been with us since he was 9 years old, and now has his first grown-up role with the Merlin Players, and so he's just wonderful and brings a wonderful energy to the game and to the whole show. So it's fun working with him in something other than a children's show. And then
so he's the heckler.
He's a heckler. And then we have Shane Sattler, who is new to us. He's from Owatonna, is playing the role of Greg.
Somehow I can't picture Samuel Temple being a heckler.
Oh, he's
he does a great job.
Such a nice, mild-mannered young man.
Absolutely.
And he comes out of his shell then.
Obviously, yes, he does. He wants to throw himself on the field.
Right. He's a great kid, but he brings so much animation and he really does. I mean, he does a great job of taunting. Granted, it's a script, but he puts the power behind it.
Yeah, of course.
And he's very exciting. And you know, if I were the baseball player, yeah, there's a couple lines in there that would really make me want to climb the vines chasing after him.
Lines on a page are just lines on a page until the actors bring them to life, right?
That's right. That's correct. And then we also have Amber Betcher, who's playing Melody, who is this young woman who just shows up and decides she's going to just like sunbathe in the bleachers, you know, and
well, we suspect she has a crush on one of the baseball players.
Yes, that's right.
As we start the show.
Mark Grace.
Right.
Yes. And then Cody Jensen is playing the character of Richie, who is sort of in training with Decker about how to learn how to reasonably bet. And also, I think, sees Decker as kind of a father figure. And he has lessons that he learns that day. There's a wonderful, warm feeling that happens in the show. There's this reconciliation between Rose and her husband Zig, and it's very funny, and it's a very sweet story. Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's about America's game.
Yeah, America's pastime.
Yes.
Right.
Some people say now it's the NFL, the most popular sport.
Oh, there's nothing.
There's something graceful about baseball.
I was just going to use that word.
I'm a big baseball fan.
Yeah, and that's just it. Football is the gridiron, is really toughing it out kind of idea. Baseball is still that going home. It's still that great game that is.
Yeah, football's like the Roman gladiators, you know.
Right.
Right. Exactly, and that's baseball's is just more gentle.
And anything can happen in a baseball game. That's why I love it. You know that.
There's no clock.
There's no clock, which is great.
Last night.
Yes.
Right. 5 hours of.
I went to bed when they started the 14th inning. I couldn't handle it anymore.
I stayed up. I hung in there, even though I had to be here in the morning, Gordy. I was just like, I can't. I thought I'm going to bed, and then it was like, I can't sleep. I gotta stay up.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I find out that they ended in the bottom of the 14th. It wouldn't have been that much longer.
Seems like always the way.
Isn't that sad? So we got a little bit of your character, Matt, but let's hear about the character from the person who plays the character.
Yeah, I don't know how much I can say. He's a businessman, and you know he's playing hooky. My guess is I kind of assume that he's from one of the big buildings downtown, not too far away from Wrigley Field.
Sure.
Comes out to enjoy the game. I'm sure he told his secretary that he was going out for lunch, and
you go to the bleachers because that's the only ticket you can get, or what?
Well, I suspect that going to the bleachers.
I didn't see many suits when I was in the bleachers. That's why.
I think it's the ulterior motive. I think that he enjoys gambling, and he sees it as a gentleman's game. He's not going to get too messy. He can have some peanuts and popcorn and Cracker Jacks and have a beer out in the stands and hang out with some friends, and that's.
Speaking of that, Juliana.
Speaking of beer.
Cracker Jacks, are they going to be served instead of popcorn? People can watch the
I've
play eating Cracker
I've
Jacks?
asked them to be ordered for the concession stand, and during intermission, I've got volunteers, and we are going to be selling beer in the aisle.
Oh, cool.
You will hear the words, beer here.
Well, yeah, it should.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is it going to be F-Town Brew or anything like
Yeah,
that?
there'll be F-Town Brew, and there'll be, you know, everything that you can get at the Paradise Center for the Arts will be selling. So, and then we also are having a different person sing the national anthem at
Each
the
night.
beginning of the game. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll be darned. You got to tell us who they are.
If I could remember.
Oh, okay.
Right,
That's okay.
6 different nights.
It'll be a surprise for people.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise for people. But we have 3 students who are going to be singing, and then opening night, Gail Catterlick is going to be singing, and Lisa Quimby is singing the second weekend, and Ethan Pick on our closing night, and Abigail Seelhammer is going to sing on our Thursday night. Alyssa Sattler is singing on Sunday afternoon. She's a daughter of one of our cast members. And then this darling girl, Danielle Iloya or something like that, she came to practice last night. She goes to Faribault High School. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful voice.
Yeah, she did an awesome job. It was great to hear the national anthem actually sung nicely, as most of us are kind of hollering it from the bleachers. But she did a beautiful job last night.
And everyone's going to stand up at 7th inning, and we're going to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." You're going to be at the ball game.
Yeah.
It'll be
That
fun.
sounds like a lot of fun.
It is fun.
Performances again are this weekend and next weekend.
Right. So we're opening on Friday on the 30th. We'll be there on Halloween at 31st. And you just get your kids out, get them trick-or-treating, and come to the theater. We start at 7:30. And then Sunday afternoon at 2. And then next week, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
And this is my own personal opinion, okay, folks? This is my editorial for the day.
Yeah.
I am happy to see, frankly, that on Halloween, you're not doing some sort of a spooky show.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People can actually get away from that for a night.
You know, and everyone, you need to come because your very own DJ here, sports announcer in Faribault, Gordy Kosfeld, is in the show.
Yeah.
He announces the game, so we have his voice.
The PA guy.
The PA guy.
Yeah,
And he has a lot of color when he's announcing the lineups and stuff. So, Gordy, do your Sammy Sosa.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that.
Oh, come on.
Nah,
do your Sammy Sosa.
I can't do the same. People have to go and listen to it.
It's fun because
I put a lot of oomph into it.
the people in the show, the cast members have started going along with you.
Oh, cool.
Sammy!
Okay.
And they all start doing that. It's funny. It just happened one night.
Right, it goes along, so and it's a great cheer as a matter of fact. So
Right,
it's a wonderful oomph to the show.
Yeah, well, I just had fun with it.
Obviously. And it adds a lot of fun to the show, too. I love
I
it.
mean, it's a fun show, right?
Hey.
Yes, and that's just it. Is people can come out on Halloween night and have a great time,
There's
have
not
a
a
good
lot of
laugh.
thinking involved in this show.
No, it's just revelry.
You're sitting on the bleachers at Wrigley Field. You're not thinking a lot anyway, right?
Drinking beer, eating Frosty Malts.
Right, betting sawbucks.
Yeah.
Juliana Skuzacek is the director of Bleacher Bums. Matt Drenth is in Bleacher Bums and also designed the set.
Yes.
Yes.
Then the whole play is in the bleachers.
In the bleachers, right. And so we have some tickets to give away.
Oh, you do? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we have tickets to give away.
Did
And
you tell them up front?
I did.
Okay.
So this isn't my first rodeo here.
No, I know. But you had me a little worried there.
No, we have 2 tickets to give away for opening weekend. You have to call and answer this question.
And if you go opening night, you get hot dogs and beer.
That's correct.
At the reception.
Uh-huh. And cookies, baseball cookies. All right, so we've been talking about a certain Cubs player that was was going to be breaking the home run record in
Ian McGuire
1998, and we've talked about him here a little bit. What is his name?
We just gave it. Oh, that was quick.
Oh boy, someone was listening.
Already got the answer to the question, I think. It's pretty easy, Juliana.
I know.
Did you plan on giving the answer before?
No, not really, but
Turned
that's all
down the
right.
ringer a little bit.
But anyway, so someone will get to go for free. Enjoy.
Fantastic. And again, opening night, you're going to have a reception with hot dogs and beer.
Well, yes, hot dogs and beer and cookies, and we always have a great opening night. People love to come and stay afterwards for the reception and talk to the actors and, talk about the show, and there's a real party atmosphere to the whole thing.
Unfortunately, Friday night I will be doing a Carlton volleyball match over at St. Olaf College.
Oh, okay.
I mean, unfortunately for me, but
Right.
because it would have been fun to have hot dogs.
Come hang out in the game, right?
And beer.
Yeah, and it's we can't afford to do that every night, but it's going to be fun every night. Like I said, we're selling beer and come and sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" with us, and
Cracker Jacks.
and eat Cracker Jacks and have a good time. It really is just a wonderful good time.
It's been a long time since I've had Cracker Jacks. Used to eat them a lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Right. I've got 3 kids, so they love the Cracker Jacks when we get the opportunity. So absolutely.
And they have the little surprise inside.
They still have a little surprise in them, although the surprises aren't as good as they used to be.
They're really cheapo, huh?
Yeah, I'm sad to say. They're just not really as good as they used to be.
Well, I don't know if they were ever great, but I don't remember.
I know. Maybe in my child's mind, I remember them a lot,
Right. They were cooler when you were a kid.
Yes,
but,
I'm
you know.
sure.
Of course they were. And as an adult, they're like, what is this?
Right. Yeah, I don't know if they still have the tattoos or not. That's what I remember from.
Oh, yeah, the tattoos. Which weren't big when I was a kid at all.
No.
No.
They are now.
I know they are. I always think, what is that going to look like when you're in the home? So.
You're talking about the nursing home, right?
Yes, exactly.
As opposed to, maybe the nut house or something.
Oh, that,
Anyway, we digressed.
Yes,
Sorry
we
about
did
that.
digress.
Bleacher Bums, it's the name of the play. And again, it's this weekend and next weekend. And it's just a lot of fun. You enjoy this? I'm sorry. Go
And
ahead.
you can still get a season ticket. If you come to the show, you can subtract $15 from the price of the season ticket, which makes it $39 for the next 3 shows. And that's a really good deal.
That is a good deal.
Yeah.
So this is your first show of the season.
The 21st season, yes.
Oh, cool. So how many productions have you been in, Matt?
Oh, and I was just saying.
With the Merlin.
I think I've lost track. I think it's somewhere 8 or 9, 10.
I don't know.
Something like
Do
that.
you know how many total you've done?
Oh, if you'd asked me that question for our anniversary year, I would have known, but now I don't know anymore.
Okay.
Well, now Julie's 100th show is 1776 later this year. Next June.
Then,
And so it's got to be 98
yeah.
then.
Did you say 1776?
1776 next
George
summer.
Washington going across the Potomac thing?
No, it's about them writing the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, my.
And the second congressional meeting, and it has the characters are Benjamin Franklin and John Adams and Thomas Jefferson and Thomas Rutledge, and it's a wonderful musical, and we're doing that next June, and it'll be my 100th show I've directed.
How cool is that?
Yeah. Well, a lot of those weren't with Merlin.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That
But
you've done a lot.
because I've worked lots of other places, but so yeah, Matt's even been in a show when I directed over in Northfield. So
Yeah, I certainly have enjoyed. Juliana, I think, has inspired me and got me into the group. It's just been, there's a lot of fun people, a lot of really smart people, and this cast is absolutely wonderful to work with, and we have a good time, and that's been, I think, the biggest breakthrough in the last week is we've stopped focusing on memorizing our lines and could enjoy each other's company on stage, and that makes this particular show, Bleacher Bums, more fun. When we enjoy it, the audience will enjoy it as well.
And the lines are somewhat rapid fire, right?
they're rapid fire, and they'll be having a conversation with one person,
Because that's how conversations work.
right? And then all of a sudden you hear the sound of the bat, or we hear Gordy's voice, and they're drawn back into the ball game like you would be, and the play happens, and they cheer and they react to what's happened, and they go back to their conversation again. So it's not an easy thing to memorize,
No.
but we've got it nailed now. We had a great rehearsal last night.
Well, you have those tense moments of the baseball game, you know, when you're watching those games, like
Sure.
14 innings, and you get a hit, and it's, you know, it could be a home run, it's almost there, but you get somebody who leaps up on the border and picks it off, and, you know, saves the home run and saves the home team from being embarrassed. Those kind of moments happen in the show, and so yeah, it is rapid fire, and we're all yelling and screaming, waiting for those moments.
So is it Sammy Sosa who wants to go after the heckler?
No, it's
Ray Langford is the
Right.
player's
Oh,
name.
okay.
yeah.
So as we call him, the Busher.
Yes, and
Hey,
Matt's character hates him because he is always hitting,
Losing money to him is what.
losing money because of him, because he seems to hit well against the Cubs for whatever reason.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
You know, what was fun is we have one of the characters, one of the ball players that's talked about is Kerry Wood, who was a pitcher, and at that first game with the St. Louis Cardinals, Kerry Wood threw out the first pitch. So we've been taken back by doing this play into a lot of Chicago Cubs lore and their just their history. It's been very fun.
Well, and ever so hopeful as they were playing the Mets, thinking that maybe they could pull one out,
And
but
get
they
to
got
the World
they got
Series.
swept, right?
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
That would have been something.
I know.
Right, that would have been a good week for us.
Thanks for reminding me, Gordy.
That's all right. Yeah, you're
You
a
have
Cubs
to
fan.
you have to have character to be a Cubs fan.
Yeah, my ex-wife was a Cubs fan too.
Uh-huh.
So we used to love watching the Cubs. Watched a lot of Cubs games.
Yeah, they're well, baseball, you know, it's a great team.
Right.
It's a great sport. Love it.
And as you mentioned, Matt, this is an iconic field.
Absolutely.
If you are a baseball fan, you have to go to Wrigley.
Or I would guess Fenway would feel the same way
Yeah,
in Boston.
I haven't been there yet, and I got to get there before they decide to replace them.
I hope they don't, you know. I guess all the amenities are nice in these new fields, but, you know, there's the feel of going to a ballpark that is quite special.
Right.
Friend of mine who's the head of a mutual fund out there says, come on out, Gordy, I'll get tickets. So I got to do that one of these days.
Yeah, sounds like a fun time.
Thanks again. Performances are this Friday, Saturday. There's a matinee Sunday
Right.
afternoon at 2.
Right.
And next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, 7:30. That concludes today's edition of AM Minnesota on KDHL AM in Faribault, Minnesota.